This is the Carbon Tier List, where we rank the best and worst carbon-plated running shoes of 2025. These are your race day weapons, built for speed, and we're judging them based on just that. First up, the Nike Vaporfly 4, a race day icon reborn for 2025. Known for rewriting the rulebook back in 2017, it's back with subtle upgrades and an even lighter build, still powered by that incredible Zoom X midsole. Key specs: you're getting 36mm of stack in the heel and 30 in the forefoot, giving you a 6mm drop. The weight comes in at just 184 grams for a US men's 10.5. And the price? $275. What's unique? The Vaporfly 4 is designed for pure speed, pairing an ultralight Zoom X foam with a full-length carbon fly plate. It's one of the lightest super shoes on the market, and the updated upper improves breathability and lockdown over version 3. What we like: that featherlight build is still a huge win. It practically disappears on your foot. The ride is smooth, springy, and responsive. It actually feels faster than version 3, thanks to the lower weight and that refreshed Alpha Fly-inspired geometry. Efficiency is excellent, especially at faster paces from 5K up to the half marathon. And comfort? Solid. The step-in feel is dialed in, and the mesh upper keeps things breathable even in warmer conditions. What we don't like: the heels still lack structure, and slippage is a real issue for some runners. That narrow fit through the heel and midfoot won't suit everyone, especially if you prefer a roomier feel. It also feels a bit less cushioned than the Alpha Fly 3, which becomes more noticeable over marathon distances. And at $275, you're definitely paying top-tier pricing for what now feels like Nike's second-best racer. The Vaporfly 4 is an A-tier super shoe, no doubt. It's not the Alpha anymore, but it's still elite, versatile, and will definitely do the job for most runners looking for a top-tier carbon shoe. Next up, the Saucony Endorphin PRO 4, a purebred racer built to go the distance. It's a clear evolution of the Pro line, but this version might not hit the mark for everyone. Key specs: the stack height comes in at 40mm in the heel and 32mm in the forefoot, giving you an 8mm drop. It weighs just 187 grams in a US men's size 9. And the price? A competitive $225. What's unique? This update brings a dual-layer midsole with a softer Power Run HG on top of Power Run PB. That combo aims to blend comfort with energy return, and a full-length carbon plate keep the ride forward-leaning, and the lattice outsole offers lightweight traction. A redesigned upper with a stretchy, gusseted tongue promises a more secure fit. What we don't like: it's a touch heavier than the Pro 3 and doesn't cater as well to aggressive forefoot strikers. Some runners might find it lacks the punch or snap you get from shoes like the Adios Pro 4 or Vaporfly. Heel lockdown can be hit or miss, and the extended tongue design may not suit everyone. For a shoe built to feel fast, it doesn't always deliver that full speed sensation. What we like: the ride is smooth and responsive, striking a nice balance without ever feeling harsh. That new foam combo adds a touch of softness that makes it more forgiving than previous versions. The upper is lightweight, breathable, and offers a secure fit for most runners. And it's still one of the lightest full-distance race shoes out there. The Endorphin Pro 4 is solid, but in 2025, the bar is higher. While it brings meaningful updates, it just doesn't feel as sharp or race-ready as top-tier options. For us, it lands in the C tier. Dependable, but not dominating. Let's talk about the comeback story that almost stuck the landing: the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 PB. Brooks hasn't exactly been dominant in the super shoe game, but with a new PBA-based midsole foam, they've taken a big step forward. It's smoother, softer, and livelier than the DNA Flash version. But is it ready to challenge the top-tier racers? Key specs: the shoe features a full 40mm stack in the heel and 32mm in the forefoot with an 8mm drop. It weighs in at just 210 grams for a men's US 10.5. Retail price, $250. What's unique? This version swaps in PB Gold foam, a real upgrade in energy return and bounce. The carbon plate remains size-specific for better tuning, and the upper is an impressive knit that's breathable, secure, and comfortable. Brooks claims big gains in marathon efficiency, but in practice, it doesn't feel quite as sharp or aggressive as its competitors. What we like: the upper is arguably one of the best on the market, race day fit without pressure points. The foam is a legit improvement, soft, smooth, and responsive at moderate to fast paces. The ride is light and natural, great if you don't want that overly rigid plated sensation. What we don't like: it's still missing that explosive race day feel. The pop just isn't there. The narrow platform and soft foam make it a bit wobbly, especially for heel strikers. And while it's a step up from the DNA Flash version, it doesn't quite reach the top of the list. The Brooks Hyperion Elite 4PB is a solid effort and easily Brooks' best racing shoe to date. But in this company, it lands in the B tier. It's good, it's fast, but it's just not game-changing. If you're loyal to the brand, if the fit is the most important to you, or if you prefer a more relaxed super shoe feel, this one might be worth a try. Now, for one of the most refined carbon updates of 2025, the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro 4. Designed for race day and built as the perfect bridge between the Pro 3 and the ultra-light Evo 1. It's lighter, bouncier, and finally steps out with its own identity. No longer just a Vaporfly alternative. Key specs. The stack comes in at 39mm in the heel and 33mm in the forefoot, giving you a 6mm drop. Weight is a light 200 grams in a men's US 9. And the price? $250. What's unique? Adidas upgraded the Lightstrike Pro Foam. It's softer, livelier, and more fun underfoot. You still get carbon-infused energy rods, now with Evo 1 geometry for quicker transitions and more mid-foot propulsion. The upper is a race-ready mesh with an internal light-lock band, giving a secure, dialed-in feel, and Continental rubber is placed only where you need it, for grip that doesn't add weight. What we like? The shoe feels almost weightless on foot, especially when you pick up the pace. That updated foam and energy rod combo delivers an ideal balance of bounce, control, and a surprisingly smooth ride. Heel lockdown is much improved. No more slipping, just comfort and confidence. And with a grippy, durable outsole and a $250 price tag that hasn't changed, it's a strong value in the super shoe game. What we don't like? The upper knitting doesn't breathe as well as I'd hoped for this kind of shoe, so if you're running in a hotter environment, you might want to reconsider. And while the ride shines at speed, it can feel a bit harsh if you're just cruising. The Adios Pro 4 is the best version Adidas has ever made. If you're looking for a responsive, race-tuned shoe with marathon range and real durability, this one lands in the S tier without hesitation. Next up, the Hoka Mach X2. A high-stack, high-bounce super trainer that promises versatility from daily miles to tempo efforts. But there's one major problem. Key specs. Heel stack, 44mm, forefoot, 39mm for a 5mm drop. Weight, 266 grams in a US men's 10.5. Price, $190. One of the more affordable plated options. What's unique? The Mach X2 uses a triple-density midsole with PBA foam on top, a P-Bax plate in the middle, and EVA underneath. It's built to balance propulsion, cushioning, and stability, and on paper, it does a solid job. But in real-world use, comfort becomes a deal-breaker. What we like? It's springy, fun, and adapts well to different paces. Relatively light for its size and surprisingly durable across the outsole and upper. Great for long workouts or daily training blocks if it fits your foot. What we don't like? The heel collar is a mess. It's stiff, unstructured, and digs into the Achilles. Blisters aren't just possible, they're common. The toe box is narrow and low in volume, causing pressure during long efforts. The Mach X2 performs well, but that doesn't mean much if it ruins your race with heel pain or blisters. And that's why it lands in D tier this year. For a shoe that tries to do everything, it forgot the most important part: comfort and feel. Next up, one of the boldest carbon-plated races of 2025, the Puma Fast-R Nitro Elite 3. This is Puma's fastest shoe ever, and arguably one of the fastest on the market, period. Ultralight, lab-proven, and designed for one thing only: pure race day performance. Key specs: stack height, 40mm in the heel, 32mm in the forefoot, and an 8mm drop. Weight, just 170 grams or 6 ounces in a men's US 8. Price, $300. What's unique? This shoe uses a decoupled midsole made from aliphatic ETPU, an advanced, resilient foam that delivers bounce, softness, and durability. The carbon power plate is longer and more flexible, designed to launch you forward off the toe. The Ultra Weave upper is barely there, feather-light, with a light lock band inside for secure lockdown. What we don't like? The upper could be better, not ideal for sharp turns or sudden pace shifts. The decoupled heel isn't the most stable for heel strikers or slower runners, and yeah, the price is steep. The Fast-R Nitro Elite 3 is a data-backed, race-ready weapon, and Puma's most impressive performance shoe to date. If you've got the form and speed to handle it, this one sits firmly in the A tier. A serious PR machine. Next up, the Cloudboom Strike, the boldest, lightest, and most ambitious racer On Running has ever put out. With a new Hyperion HF foam, drop-in midsole design, and striking looks, this shoe brings some real innovation to the table. But at nearly $300, it's got a lot to prove. Key specs: stack height, 39.5mm in the heel and 35.5mm in the forefoot for a 4mm drop. It weighs in at 221 grams in a men's US 10.5. Retail price, $280. What's unique? The Cloudboom Strike uses a drop-in Hyperion HF foam midsole. Not glued, but literally resting on top of a carbon plate. That creates a unique, bouncy sensation that's very different from most super shoes. The upper features a translucent mesh and internal heel pads for lockdown, and the laces have rubber nibs for added grip. What we like: it's incredibly lightweight for a full stack shoe. The forefoot is responsive and cushioned with great pop off the toe. It breathes well, grips decently even with minimal rubber, and stands out from the crowd in both feel and design. What we don't like: fit is tricky. Many runners need to size down, and the heel collar can cause irritation or blistering. It's not very stable, and cushioning in the rear foot feels lacking for longer races. And at $280, it competes directly with better executed shoes like the Vaporfly or Adios Pro, but doesn't quite match their all-around performance. The Cloudboom Strike is On's best racer yet, no question, but it's also inconsistent, tricky to fit, and not forgiving enough for most runners. That's why it lands in the B tier, a solid, fun option if it fits your foot and your style. Last but not least, the ASICS Metaspeed Sky Paris, the carbon-plated racer built for Olympic-caliber speed. Designed for runners with a naturally long stride, this shoe is light, aggressive, and all about maximizing forward momentum. Key specs: you get 39.5mm in the heel, 34.5mm in the forefoot with a 5mm drop. It weighs just 183 grams in a men's US 9. Featherlight for a full marathon racer. Starting price, $250. What's unique? The Sky Paris is engineered for stride-style runners, meaning those who increase speed by opening their gait rather than upping cadence. To match that style, ASICS places a full-length carbon plate closer to the foot for more direct propulsion, paired with a wider forefoot for added lateral stability. The midsole is made from Flight Foam Turbo Plus, ASICS' lightest and most responsive PBA foam to date. What we like: it's incredibly light, yet delivers a powerful, smooth ride, one that encourages fast running without needing to force it. The upper is ultra-breathable and locks you in securely, and the ASICS Grip outsole is among the best on the market, especially on slick pavement. What we don't like: it's on the firmer side compared to shoes like the Vaporfly or Adios, and sure, $250 stings, but in this tier, it's not surprising. In short, the Metaspeed Sky Paris delivers elite performance for the right runner, and for that reason, it earns its spot in the S tier, one of the best race day options of 2025, as long as you've got the stride to match.